this fact. He is saying the country is helpless. It is powerless unless there is a co-management agreement. Guyanese. This is an absolute falsehood. However, Jagdeo is saying that Guyana can only verify and check expenses at the end of the year. This is how our US trillion-dollar oil business is being managed. Guyanese, we have and must take a stand. This is a message from Kaieteur news publisher Lall.
I want to
The only light in the dark tunnel we find ourselves in is the ability to monitor all investments and costs thrown at us by the oil companies. The oil contract gives the authority to demand on a monthly basis all spendings. Guyana can also demand all costs, prior, present, and future spendings in the oil sector. But our Vice President, Mr. Jagdeo, is disputing this fact. He is saying the country is helpless. It is powerless unless there is a co-management agreement. Guyanese. This is an absolute falsehood. However, Jagdeo is saying that Guyana can only verify and check expenses at the end of the year. This is how our US trillion-dollar oil business is being managed. Guyanese, we have and must take a stand. This is a message from Kaieteur news publisher Lall.
This is Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM, and we are the radio with a difference, covering you from coast to coast on 99.1 and 99.5 FM via our YouTube page. Of course, we've had to have a new YouTube channel. It's now Kaieteur Radio Guyana. You can find us there on Facebook at The Lall Show and on Kaieteur Radio Facebook page, and of course via our streaming platforms. It is time for a rebroadcast of The Lall Show. Mr. Lall is unable to join us this evening for a live program, but as you know, in his absence, he normally instructs us to play programs that we here at Kaieteur Radio think that is important. Pointing that all programs are important, but of course, some that might not resonate with you from the time you would have heard it, but of course you want to bring it back with you so that you can pay keen attention to something that you might have missed in that program. So we are going to bring to you a 27th of June 2022 rebroadcast. It is titled Exxon contract put every Guyanese in a column box like how you just build house and cement all of us up to our chin, leaving our mouths to eat whatever they throw at us, nose to breathe, eyes to see, ears to hear, debt coming until we die. And that's the Stabilization Provision, and Jagdeo will approve the fifth project come year end. It is now time for a rebroadcast of the Lall Show.
I want to also quickly give you guys an update on my court case with the government and ExxonMobil. I told you guys last week that the government asked for 1 month extension, telling the court that the matter is a complex one and they need more time to seek out expert advice and guidance, Adam Harris. Wow. Days after that, this is on Friday gone, ExxonMobil also joined in, asking the court for extra time too. So that uncle and auntie will push the court case further. In the meantime, every day, ExxonMobil walking away with our taxes. Bernard, namaste.
Namaste.
Mm-hmm. Vice President Jagdeo and the rest of politicians are not making mistakes, uncle and auntie. They are deliberately staying silent, turning a blind eye, and most times telling us half-truths. And, Adam, in most cases, they're hoodwinking the nation with them flimsy language and excuses they give to people. Uncle and auntie, I promised Friday to give anyone $1 million if they can show me one oil contract in the last 50 years that is worse than the one Guyana has. Adam, can you help me? You want $1 million? Today is 3 days gone, and not a soul, not any of the oil companies, not the Vice President Jagdeo, not the opposition leader or Ramjatan, call me to get that $1 million. But let me say this, uncle and auntie, that offer still valid. I hope somebody win it by Wednesday with a contract that says or shows it is worse than the one Guyana has. You want to take up the bet, Adam?
I won't even try.
Okay. A lawyer asked me, Glenn, what you think is the most dangerous aspect of this entire oil deal with Guyana? What bothers you most with this oil contract, Glenn? And I said to him, sir, we have several damning provisions in that contract that no other oil contract on earth has. And the very top of that list is the stabilization clause or provision. I am so happy that not only lawyers is waking up in this country. I am told right across this country, this radio program has become a topic of conversations on the roadside, in the bars, bottom houses, and almost in every conversation people are having with their friends, families, and even strangers. Stabilization clause, uncle. Stabilization provision in that contract, auntie. This is the main part of the contract that Jagdeo, Norton, Ramjatan, and President Ali does hold up and preach sanctity of contract. The contract can't change. That's what sanctity means. It can't change. If you change it, you're breaking the laws of God Almighty. That is what sanctity means. It is sacred. Not true, Adam?
Correct.
Correct. It is an unbreakable vow that our leaders have taken when they marry Guyana to ExxonMobil. Auntie, when you marry, you just take a vow to be faithful and true to your partner and always do the best for each other. Well, this vow is the total opposite to, to a marriage. This vow, Guyana's leaders give ExxonMobil the right to interfere, to molest and sodomize every citizen of this country, including your unborn children. That vow, Adam Harris, also allows ExxonMobil to invite friends to join in and do whatever they feel like to the Guyanese people with joy. And the only way Guyana can stop this vulgarity is if ExxonMobil agrees first. You didn't hear what I said, Adam?
I hear you.
The only way Guyana can stop the vulgarity, the raping of this country, is if ExxonMobil agrees first. That's the contract Raphael Trotman under the coalition signed, that bind all of us to a predator like ExxonMobil. This government, Harris, you used to sit in the editorial department with me every day. Yes. Not true?
Correct.
And I used to warn you and the editorial staff about this contract. And you used to fight me now, no? You remember? But this government, when in opposition, was very angry over the contract terms. They were very loud about what they will do to reverse this insanity. You have heard many times, I play on the radio, President Ali himself, when he said, we got the wrong end of the stick. It has to be reviewed and renegotiated. In case you guys never hear it, I have a tape to play for you. But I think, man, I should play that tape now. Don't play it. Before you play, hold 1 second. Before you play it, let me tell you, Uncle. He has said that how we get a wrong end of the stick and it must be reviewed and renegotiated. All of them said that. Today, when people are asking them about this contract and this oil deal, man, it's a different tune they're singing. Man, if they're cussing, now you can play that first tape with President Ali and let them hear when people ask them about this oil and this oil operation and the oil deal. Listen what he said. Play it.
I need to know what is happening with the oil blocks. Could you please share something with me?
And the oil blocks would be auctioned. You're examining the possibility of a national oil company in the auctioning. So you have an opportunity to put in a bid.
You hear that?
That was at Bartica.
Bartica. He get offended when the lady asked him, tell us something about we oil blocks. He told the woman, let me tell you if you didn't hear him clearly. He told the woman, we got the pieces that we are getting back through relinquishment will go on to auction and you can put in a bid. You see how disrespectful a president can be on a citizen that asks a very simple question. Please tell us a little about our oil blocks. You know? This is the change this man wanted. Two face, two mouth, two tongue. I used to warn Adam Harris every day in the editorial department. He just said, boss. Adam Harris, I'm glad you're here. Play the next tape for me. Let the nation hear what the vice president saying. These are money that Guyana will never see, maybe in a lifetime. 30 billion American dollars.
But it's not our money. It's not our money.
Yes, sir, it's our money.
No, but if they invest, all right.
So these people are making that you said 75% is coming out on a daily basis as cost oil. So how is that our money?
No, but again, you get the 30 billion and then you will make all this money too.
Oh, no, I'm not asking about that, sir. Don't do me that.
That was at the press conference the other day.
That was at the press conference just a couple of days ago. Many occasions they talk. You see, when you ask him, when you put questions to them, that's when I ask him about the $30 billion out there, that our oil, 75% of our oil is coming out every day to go pay back for those loans. He says, now we money, is the people money. And then when he done, he tried to say, well, Glenn, you should, and I tell him, said, don't disrespect me. Don't do that to me. You know, this is the kind of reaction you get when you ask very simple, straightforward question to them. You know, it is so sad. As for the opposition leader, Norton, he afraid to use the word renegotiation, but he won't change. Uncle and Auntie, I don't have a tape with him. The reporter deleted the tape from her computer. If not, I would have played it for you guys to hear. But he told Guyana, that in a written statement. Yes. As for the other opposition, the AFC boss man, Comrade Ramjatan, he said, this is a super contract. The best thing ever happened to Guyana. He continuing where Trotman left off. The man even called me a chatterati, Adam. I didn't even know the meaning of chatterati until now. You know? But he didn't call my name. He said he wanted from the newspaper. You know? We had an interview with Christopher Ram last week. And you got to hear when Christopher Ram asked him, you have that tape. Play that tape for me, man. Play it. You guys listen.
Well, if you wanted to have a better agreement, I think that you'll have to form a political party, go and win an election. Nonsense.
That was an interview, I think was Sunday gone, last Sunday or Wednesday, with Christopher Ram on WRHM.
And he tell Ram to form a political party.
When, you know, he told, when Ram asked him to talk about the deal we get. I will play the whole tape, but I just give you a little snippets of tonight because based on my program. I'll play the entire thing for you, for the people to hear. Man, there's so many things to talk about. There isn't enough time to do these things. But you know, you just got to play the appropriate piece, right? So people understand. The man showed on at Christopher Ram and tell you, well, if you want a better deal, you go form a political party. This is the kind of disrespect these people have, these clungs for leaders or politicians have for the people of this country. Wow. Father, you got to help me. Yeah. Or Adam, do you know the meaning of chatterati? I really don't know the meaning. Man, and you know, Bernard, these are the thing that bothers my soul is that these are the people y'all staying on your finger for, man. Is why else are you going to stay on your finger for, man? Adam Harris tell me we agreed, three of us agreed that we will not vote for any of the political parties the last election. We agreed, you know. Lo and behold, Adam and the other one walking with a finger stain. Adam,
I didn't agree.
had I voted, I think the creator would have upset with me. Guys, I play those tapes so as to remind you as to what the leaders of this country, their positions where they are on renegotiating this contract. Let me give you some words that they're hanging their hat on. The wedding vow that's so sacred, it cannot be broken. If not, the world come to an end. Yes, according to these same clungs you hear there just now. These morons, these misfits, these nincompoops, yes, these failures, Adam Harris, and fraudsters we have for politicians in Guyana. People just tell me, man, Glenn, be nice to them, man. When you listen to those things, Adam Harris, you can be nice to them people. It says in Article 32 of the oil contract, our wedding vow. You hear me, Adam? Our wedding vow, meaning Guyana and Exxon Mobil wedding vow. And I want to read it. I want to read word for word so you guys hear me. Can you put it up on the screen too? Put it on the screen. Except as may be expressly provided herein, the government shall not amend, modify, terminate, declare invalid, or unenforceable, require renegotiation of, compel replacement, or substitute, or otherwise seek to avoid, alter, or limit this agreement without prior written consent of the contractor. Should I read it back, Adam? Okay. Those are the actual words in the contract that these clowns keep insisting, like their prayers, that bind this country. Although the clause ended by saying specifically, uncle and auntie, this thing cannot be changed, it says, without prior written consent of the contractor. You know what I mean, Adam? Simply put, that wedding vow that bind we unborn children to slavery can be broken. It can be changed, corrected, or fixed overnight if the leaders write them and say, come to the renegotiation table and let's talk over this contract. It is as simple and straightforward as that, Adam. I'm not going to call your name anymore for tonight. I'll go back to Miss Harris. Let me read back Miss Harris. That very crucial and important piece for all of you. It says, except as may be expressly provided herein, the government shall not amend, modify, terminate, declare invalid, or unenforceable, require renegotiation of, compel replacement or substitute, or otherwise seek to avoid, alter, or limit this agreement without, let me repeat, without prior written consent of the contractor. TOR, T-O-R, Adam Harris, not T-E-R. You know I'm not too bright in English.
No, you're good. You're good.
Good, thank you. Maths I am good at, right?
Sorry.
You know that. What those fancy legal words mean, auntie and uncle? Exxon Mobil have to agree to changes. It doesn't mean nothing can change. It just means our leaders have to demand the changes. Bring them to the table. Look what the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister did recently, uncle. He called BP, British Petroleum. That's one of the 5 biggest oil companies in the world working in Trinidad, and told the president of that company, told him, put together a team to sit down with the government team. The president of the oil company asked him, sir, Mr. Prime Minister, did we do something wrong? The Prime Minister tell him no. Sir, did we break the laws of Trinidad and Tobago? The PM again said no. But when a contract, the PM tell him, man, when a contract benefits one side and one side only, he said that is not a contract. Adam, 6 weeks, to be precisely 7 weeks later, both teams met and Trinidad and Tobago was able to walk away happily, where they got what they demanded by way of renegotiation of their contract. The Prime Minister was clear, uncle, in his demand and had told them, you are looking out for your shareholders, BP, and he has to look out for the people of Trinidad and Tobago who are his shareholders. Isn't that a leader, Miss Harris? Huh? That's a fine leader. That's a proper leader who looks out for his people at all costs. This is all we're asking President Ali, Vice President Jagdeo, and the opposition leader Norton and Ramjatan to do for us by bringing ExxonMobil to the table and stop telling us this nonsense about the contract can't change. It's set in stone. It's signed in blood. I don't know who blood. This thing can change, uncle. And if they don't want to do it, me and you got to shut this country down. Me and you got to shut this place down so that we can get them to do it. We can force them to do it. Because they are the elected leaders. Yes, them is the people you're staying on your finger for. How long can all of us continue to live under these conditions, man? In which you can't move at all. You're bolt down. You're anchored down, Adam. You're tied down 10 trillion times worse than how people just tie up an iguana. It's like you tie a donkey with a fat chain, iron chain too. Now no copper chain, to a concrete post. Then chain the donkey front and back foot, leaving his mouth to eat whatever is thrown at him. And his nose is left for he to breathe until the donkey dead. That is where Exxon has every Guyanese at present with that contract Trotman signed, Miss Harris. This is the same contract that the present government, who when in opposition, said they will change. And today they are deaf. Yes, today they are dumb and blind to it. I didn't hear a word from you, Adam Harris. You're sleeping away on me there.
No, man.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, I hear Jagdeo tell you that benefits. I listened to the press conference only today too.
Adam, this was one of the questions I wanted to pose to the Vice President on a one-on-one, he promised me. But because the lawyer asked me, I decided to speak on it tonight. It has been lingering on my chest for a very long time now, eating away at my stomach, keeping me awake. I had spoken on it on one of my programs early last year, and a few other people, including Christopher Ram, have spoken about it already. But it has not registered, and like it's not sinking in people's mind. So I decided to do a special program tonight on that clause alone. But when the question was asked by the lawyer, Adam Harris, that's how I realized that I can't wait for Jagdeo one-on-one to discuss it. So guess what I did? I called a few friends. Yes. I called a few friends. Adam Harris was one of them. Just to ask them the same question, Uncle and Auntie. You know, Ms. Harris, what do you think is the worst? Me ask the same question me ask Adam, Adam, what do you think is the worst part of this oil deal? And even Harris was like, bye, we know that royalty is nothing and the profit is nothing. But what we can do? Yeah? Jagdeo them say he can't change. And when I hear this thing from the couple of friends I asked, is then I realize people really don't understand the full depth or danger we are in. It's like all over people talking about royalty and profits, when that is the least of the troubles this country has over its head at present. That is the least trouble we have, man. Getting nothing is nothing. That's not the trouble. Adam, is what it's doing to you. You don't got nothing to forget, fine. But it's what it's doing to you. It's how they're chaining you like a donkey. You hear me, man?
I hear you.
Thank you.
I hear you.
Let me be clear to you people. Other than that stabilization clause, Harris, Miss Harris, not Mr. There are many other aspects of this contract that are more destructive to us than that royalty and profit are you getting. Wednesday, I will continue to give you more. But for tonight, let's stick with a stabilization clause. And this Nancy story that the contract can't change. And we got to live with it for quite a while into the future. That's not my words. Those are not my words. Jagdeo words. Yes. That clause tie up Guyana like a donkey for the next 60 years or more once I'll still out there. You see how long you tie up for? You tie up for a day, you know. Yes, 3 generations and more if oil is out there. Uncle, it's like a young man marry your niece, your niece or your daughter, your beautiful daughter. Until she have to stay in that house. Can't go anywhere until death. And whatever he give her to eat, when the day come, or whatever he give her to drink when the night come, that is how she got to live she life. That's the Guyana contract Raphael Trotman signed with Exxon Mobil and Jagdeo, Ali, Ramjatan and Norton. Yes, have your children, every one of us, living with it. Miss Harris, that clause in the Exxon Mobil contract is so evil, so wicked, so nasty, so stinking, and bent on robbing a nation, went as far as to say that if Guyana do anything that will affect Exxon Mobil pocket, anything extra, then me and you have to foot that bill. Me and you got to pay every cent. Man, who agrees to something like that? Huh? Trotman signed that contract. But he said he was acting on instructions. Man, can somebody tell me, or can Trotman tell us who instruct him to sign such a contract? Which fool or idiot instruct him? If Guyana changes the law, Miss Harris, Mr. Bernard, you're sleeping away.
Not at all.
If Guyana changes the law, uncle, that will affect the oil company them in any way, shape or form, my gosh, Guyana Treasury, your tax dollars, your biscuit money And the breadcrumbs you get in have to go to repay whatever they lose out. Let's go a little further, Ms. Harris. If Guyana raises taxes, you hear this one, man. If we raise taxes in this country, the oil companies, them are exempted. If Guyana puts a regulatory body in place for the oil industry, and them change anything that affects the oil company pocket, them just have to send the bill, how much money them lose, and it all comes out of them poor people pension money. Yes, we got to pay it back. Auntie, if Guyana change its own laws, Bernard, if Guyana change its own laws, it cannot affect the oil companies. They're above our parliament. Their contract is bigger than the constitution of Guyana that governs all of us. How you like that? That contract. Is this our country, man? Are we still the owners of the oil in the Stabroek block? Huh? You still own oil?
Not anymore.
I should take a breathe in here, man. Wow. Oh. Let me tell you guys another important area of the stabilization clause that's in the contract. I think that part, that's a mantra. The last part of the marriage vow, Adam, says if the government and ExxonMobil can't reach an agreement as to the demands of this country, then we must go to a third party arbitration. Uncle, it means we must go to court. Not court in Guyana. Not the CCJ. Guess where, Miss Harris?
The World Court.
The White Man Court in England to get justice for we brown and black and purple people. Oh gosh, like I said, we courts, including the CCJ, is not good enough for ExxonMobil. They want a British court. And guess who's paying?
We have to pay.
ExxonMobil has 700 top lawyers of the world. 700. Yes. They got 700 lawyers on the ExxonMobil team. Who you think pay for it? Guyana pocket, if we ever go to court or to arbitration. Man, to pay our legal arbitration fees, we gotta pay. If we win or if we lose, Guyana has to pay from we isle. That's in the contract, Uncle. Glenn Lall is not making this thing up. These are all questions you guys got to ask these people. You guys have an idea what a fee look like, Miss Harris? In my estimation, it will run Guyana more than a full year of its oil profit or with royalties. That's the kind of money we're talking about. What a bind are you finding yourself in? Staining your finger for these clowns who promise you to do all the best things on earth to make sure your children get a good life. All contracts, Mr. Harris, have stabilization clause. It's a standard thing